guys, happy Sunday with Satan. So, alright, I was just kind of looking over more, Indiana legends, urban legends, all this cool stuff. Kansas ghost stories. I have no clue how I would even begin to create my own, investigation team. I don't trust people. Literally, I have major trust issues with people because they just want to, fuck around and not take things seriously. So that is why I personally would probably go to these places by myself with a board. I just downloaded a ghost something. I guess it works. All the reviews say it works. You just have to figure out how to use it. So I kind of think I figured out how to use it, so we're going to try that here in just a little bit. I still want that damn ghost box. And I found the most amazing one. It's gorgeous and it's big and it looks really old, but it's not. But it's got that antique vibe to it and it just looks amazing. Fucking expensive. Fucking expensive. Wow. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even think I'd ask. So, anyways. Alright, so. Some really cool urban legends. More so. Here in Indiana. So, alright, so we have the Crossley monster. Indiana's Bigfoot in Jennings County, Indiana. This is number 1. I had no idea. Oh, I thought this said Zozo. I was like, oh fuck no, I am done. I was like, I am done. No. So yeah, okay. I did not know Indiana had its own Bigfoot. I doubt it. I don't even believe in Bigfoot, honestly. It's just an ape. That's my opinion, though. A lot of people will bitch at me about that. Alright, so, Bigfoot, Jennings County, Indiana. So, the stories of the Bigfoot type monster are told in assorted variety of ways all over the world. So, Indiana is no exception to this, unfortunately. So, according to Jennings County residents, this half-animal, half-human-type beast, which would be an androgynous figure, such as Baphomet. I wonder if anybody ever thinks of that. Could it be an archetype? Some kind of divine spark of divinity within like an animal, making it do crazy shit. Yeah, I just thought of that. Okay, so half human type beast and has been roaming the Crossley Fish and Wildlife longer than anyone cares to remember. Probably because nobody cares. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So there are many locals who will swear that the stories are true, and an equal number who will quickly tell you it's nothing but a myth. Yeah, God, just looking at this little website here makes me think it's a myth. So, in July of 2006, 4 boys camping in these woods had their minds made up for them. When you have 4 boys, males, camping in the woods, what are you gonna do? What would I do? I know what I would do. I would probably have some fun. Mind-expanding fun. So, not with the boys. Alright, so, the boys had set up camp at Harrison Pond in the Crossley F&W area for an evening of fishing. Oh, an evening of fishing. I'm sure that was only an evening of fishing, period. And now I'm joking, I'm just giving everybody a hard time, so... Okay, when suddenly they experienced a strange feeling of no longer being alone. They had been fishing from the pond's dam when the sounds of something approaching arose from the surrounding woods. There's a picture of Bigfoot taking a piss in the urinal, but whatever. Alright, so They stared into the darkness, expecting to see a deer or such coming trampling out of the forest, but instead, to their surprise, they spotted a pair of large, glowing eyes, nearly 7 feet from the ground, and appearing to stand on 2 legs. I want to believe this, I really do. It's difficult. Very difficult to believe that. I wonder how old these boys were. Hopefully it tells us. So, here we go. Alright, one of the boys, Terry Snyder, claims to have seen the huge monster through the light of his lantern, mentioning that the beast had been extremely hairy and dirty looking. It was at this point, after seeing a clearer view of it, that the creature began violently shaking tree limbs, before leaping towards the boys in an apparent attempt to attack. That just tells me it's more of an animal. Here's where the story takes a slight curve from most Bigfoot sightings. Okay. As the boys fled the Fury beast, gave chase, dropping down onto all 4 limbs in a more animal-type running fashion. Okay, that tells me it's an animal, not Bigfoot. So, according to the report, the creature had chased the boys until they came to a cornfield, which is very common here in Indiana, at which point the boys stuck to the road, and the beast ran straight into the field. So, a couple of weeks later, one of the boys claimed to have another encounter with this strange, crossly monster. So, while hunting squirrel... Ew, who hunts squirrel? Do people do that? Do people eat squirrel? Ew. Gross. Oh. Okay, anyway. Where'd I go? Oh, hunting squirrel in the same general vicinity. He heard a strange screaming coming from the woods around him. So right before seeing the beast once again, and immediately began to flee. As he ran through the woods, the monster circled him at a fast pace, running on all 4s. Okay. Could have been a coyote. It could have been a bear. It could have been a wild dog, a wild boar. I don't think wild boars can stand up on their hind legs. I know dogs can. Alright, so it circled him at a fast pace, running on all 4s. More reason to think it is an animal. So the creature was seemingly only toying with the boy, as he made no actual attempt to attack. So the boy, following his own natural instinct to run, never once attempted to fire the 12-gauge shotgun he was carrying. Good. You shouldn't. Once again, the boy made it to his safety of his home, completely unharmed. So, that just makes me wonder. I don't know. Who were the boys? Who were the other 3? How old were they? Were they doing any kind of recreational fun? So yeah. Alright. Now we have the green-clawed beast. The Ohio River, near Evansville, Indiana. So, it was August 21st of 1955, but the only account ever of the green-clawed beast of Indiana was reported. Okay, that's taken from a movie, obviously. Okay. On this day, Mrs. Darwin Johnson, and her friend, Mrs. Chris Lample, were found swimming in the Ohio River when they encountered the mysterious creature. So, Mrs. Johnson had been wading in the cool water, while her friend floated on her raft nearby. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Johnson felt a strong, hairy, claw-like hand grab a hold of her knee and pull her under the water. And that's obviously from a movie. I don't know what movie it is, but I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm not 100% sure about that. So, alright, Mrs. Lamble is said to have screamed hysterically upon seeing her friend viciously yanked under the water, when suddenly Mrs. Johnson broke free of the creature's grasp and was able to resurface. Just as she thought she was free, the creature again grabbed a hold of Mrs. Johnson, this time from behind, again pulling her under the murky water. That's why I don't go in lakes. I won't go in a lake. I won't swim in a lake. No. I won't swim in the ocean. No. Jaws, that's the only thing. The only reason is Jaws. What's under there? I don't know. Do you know? No. There you go. Scary. Alright, so while the last of her willpower, Mrs. Johnson was able to break free once again. This time, lunging for her friend's raft and making a large splash that apparently scared the beast off. So after exciting the water, Mrs. Johnson was treated for multiple injuries. Ooh. Okay, so it was during this treatment that they found a strange green stain in the shape of a large hand on Mrs. Johnson's leg. It was reported that Mrs. Johnson was unable to remove the mark for several days after the incident occurred. So, with only one occurrence being reported, it'd be easy to push this legend aside and claim it as a panicky swimmer or a tree limb snagging her in the current. But it just so happens that on this exact same day, the single most terrifying report in UFO history was also occurring. The case of Hopkinsville. Yeah. Of the Hopkinsville Goblin. Wow. Okay. A little bit of a synchronicity. Some people were subject to believe that the creature may have been one of the Loveland Frogmen from the Ohio area. Loveland Frogmen. Though they had never been reported as being dangerous or aggressive. Is that a real thing? A person? Several weeks after the incident, the Johnsons claimed to have been visited by a USAF colonel and extensively questioned for hours before being warned not to speak of the incident to anyone from that point on. I don't know if I believe that. I mean, I'm not trying to, that would still be odd to have somebody come in and tell you never, question you for hours and then say don't ever, repeat your story. Okay, that's cover up. Okay, so it was 1955, just 1 year after the release of the creature from the Black Lagoon. Who knows what really happened? Was it a government conspiracy to hide amphibious aliens, or just a panicky swimmer's lucid imagination brought on by a horror movie based on a very similar scenario? I don't know. So, by the time I finally finished up my research for this article, I had just enough time left for a quick game of black light miniature golf. Oh my god, I've never heard of that. Black light miniature golf. I'd have to be really stoned to enjoy that. Alright, so where'd I go anyways? And another round of haunted laser tag. That sounds fun. Haunted laser tag. Where do you do this? Okay, before hitting the interstate for a long drive back to reality, also known as home. That sucks. That does suck, I'm sorry. Thanks for stopping by, and as usual, if you have any ghost stories or legends you'd like to share, feel free to share, to leave a comment below. Alright, wow. There are quite a few really strange freaking urban legends here in Indiana. So, Central State Hospital, the old pathology building, which we went over, which is the Indianapolis hospital. So we already went over that one. And this is by D.S. Duby. Dubai? I don't know. My psychiatrist's name is Dr. Dubay. Or Dubai, I don't know. So this looks like it. So D.S. Duby is an avid traveler and writer with a keen interest in horror and urban legends. So thank you all. Yes, right. Go to this guy. Alright, so now we have another one. So this southern Indiana legend is terrifying. It's true. And this did happen. So let's just go on to see. Alright, this is the story. It's pretty fucked up. It's really fucked up, actually. It's pretty sad. It's really sad because of the kids that just died. So, alright, so, okay, the train barreled through Jasper, straight toward a school bus that waited helplessly on the tracks. Terrified school children watched as the train grew bigger and bigger in the bus windows. Finally, it swallowed everything. So, the impact was catastrophic. Everyone on board was killed, except for the driver. Some say the driver was suicidal and had parked the bus there on purpose. Others claim he was distraught and later returned to the spot of this tragic mistake to press a gun to his temple. On a dark night on Devil's Road, you can still see his headlights visage stumbling down the tracks. Well, according to legend. So, any Google search of haunted places in Indiana is likely to hit upon Devil's Road. Haven't covered this one yet. It hasn't even come up in my search. A spot in Du Bois County, supposed still haunted by the victims of the horrible train school bus collision described above. Thrill seekers possessed by the spirit of Halloween are supposed to stop their car on the tracks and drop it into neutral. Eventually, disembodied whispers of children will fill the night, and the car will lurch forward. I think I've been here, honestly. Shoot. Alright, so the legend goes that they are pushing you out of the way, helping you to avoid their own unlucky fate. If you sprinkle baby powder across your car, you can see their handprints. This has been on Unsolved Mysteries as well. So, how do I do my video notes? Literally, well, they showed pictures and they had all kinds of different stuff than what I'm doing, so this has never aired on television and TV in the US. Okay, so the truth is that any of this true. So you can dismiss or embrace the ghost angle depending on your beliefs in the supernatural. But what about the gruesome train wreck? It's true, it happened. So an event like that can scar a community for decades, leave trails of ruined families in its wake. Each time the wreck's anniversary popped up, local reporters would fall all over themselves to write remembrances. Problem is, there doesn't seem to be any record of such a collision ever occurring. So, believe it or not, the haunting websites are vague on details. Most of them pin the accident as happening sometime in the 1960s. Neither the National Transportation Safety Board nor the Federal Railroad Administration reports any such accident. Granted, reports are spotty before 1975, when the rules for documenting collisions got stricter, but no hint of massive, deadly collision in southern Indiana pops up anywhere. I believe it has. I do believe that it has actually popped up here. Alright, so where did I go? Okay, so there's no mention of it in the Evansville Courier archives. Newspaper.com, a site that archives publications from around the country, didn't show any sign of it in the Du Bois County Herald either. So, quote, "They just started screaming," unquote. So, sadly, there are countless examples of similar disasters. So, this is the good one. Well, I mean, not good, but it's pretty creepy. Okay, so on October 23rd, 1974, 7 students were killed and 73 injured in Georgia when a work train stocked with heavy railroad ties tumbled backward and rammed a school bus that had been crossing the tracks. Everybody started tumbling over the seats, unquote, unquote, an 11-year-old passenger told United Press International at that time. Quote, they just started screaming and then it hit, unquote. So, the driver, Billy Kellett, suffered a concussion and fell into a grief-laced shock. Rosalind Carter, wife of then Georgia Governor Jimmy, visited Kellett in the hospital. She expressed her condolences. All he could do was mumble and turn away. So, 20 kids died in a terrible bus train crash in Greeley, Colorado in 1961. 3 students were killed in a 1972 collision in Pennsylvania, and there are many more. One of the most infamous cases happened in 1995. Okay, then 7 students died and 21 people were hurt when a passenger train bound for Chicago rammed into the back of a school bus and severed it from its frame. That's disturbing. Alright, the legend. So here's the legend. The legend of Devil's Road sounds awfully similar to a famous ghost story in San Antonio, Texas. We're all over the map here. Wow. Just like in Jasper, you're supposed to park your car on the ghost tracks on the south end of town and wait for tiny disembodied hands, victims of a shadowy train crash long ago, to push you to safety. That story even drew the attention of the brothers from Ghost Adventures. Oh boy. Oh boy. I have a question for everybody. Who has enough money to spend $50,000 on Ted Bundy's classes? I could think of a lot better things to do with that money. Anyway, okay, here we go. Okay, but such a collision doesn't seem to have happened there either. So last year, the San Antonio Express News talked to a local historian who couldn't find any record of it. Somehow, she said, the story got mixed up with an actual crash that occurred in Salt Lake City in 1938, when a freight train plowed into a school bus, killing 23. So we don't know. There's no archives, there's no records, there's no nothing about this train and bus collision. Alright, so, does the truth matter? Of course it does. Of course. All this nitpicking may not matter. Halloween is about having fun and getting scared. People who want to drive around remote train crossings and wait for a ghostly heave over the tracks can still do so, as long as they keep an eye out for approaching locomotives. So before anybody goes and does something stupid, just make sure you're safe. Don't get, So, even when looking for ghosts, safety is key. So, friends and I just did about 10 years ago. We put the car in neutral and waited. The night was still. The black fingers of bare trees stabbed at the even blacker sky. The radio was off and silence filled the car like smoke. Ooh, I like that. The silence filled the car like smoke. Okay, we waited and then it came, a slow rocking. Maybe it happened, maybe our minds created it all. Either way, we stepped on the gas and got out of there. Alright. Then that story came from... Where did it come from? Courier Press. So. Cool. I can't find Courier... Oh, John Webb. Evansville Courier and Press. So that's another one. So we have quite a few more. So 12 creepy stories and urban legends from Indiana. We do have, yeah, some pretty cool ones. So okay, these are some, I mean, these photos of these old homes and these railroad crossings, these really old churches, and just, it's so intriguing. It's inviting, and that is our subconscious mind drawing us into the unknown, and then our conscious mind makes us go, well, wait, that could have been an animal, that could have been, it makes you speculate, makes you want to reason. So alright, so this is by Creepy Stories and Urban Legends from Indiana. Where did this giant ad come from? I have an ad thing on here that's supposed to get rid of all these. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Close, thank you. Alright. Creepy Stories and Urban Legends from Indiana. This is by Amanda Sedlick Henniver. So every state has its folklore, and the Hoosier State is no different. Home to lots of rural land, there are plenty of creepy Indiana urban legends regarding very old buildings, deserted roads, and remote cemeteries. If you live in Indiana or ever find yourself passing through, you may want to visit some of these locations. Who knows? You may catch a glimpse of a Black Annie in Boonesville, or run into the Lady in Gray while stopping by Evansville Willard Library. So, ghost stories from Indiana often encompass the state's history. So the Battle of Tippecanoe has supposedly left its mark on battleground Indiana, and some of the state's association with the Underground Railroad has resulted in some lingering spirits. If you're looking for something to do in Indiana, browse this list and pay some of these locations a visit. Okay, we've already went over the Willard Library. Ooh. The Legend of Black Annie. This looks pretty cool. This looks really cool, and I keep getting this stupid pop-up on this stupid site. There we go. Alright, a woman named Black Annie still walks the streets in Boonville, according to legend. She supposedly died in a house fire in the 1930s. Again, very vague, in the 1930s. And appears to visitors as a figure dressed in black. On occasion, she's known to jump on people's cars. I like this. I like her. She's also spotted wandering the cemetery where she is buried, and haunts the still existing remnants. Pop-ups of the house that burned down with her in it. So many people have witnessed her haunting that town. People have witnessed her haunting that the town organized an event around her called the Black Annie Walk. Alright, so if it's, in good whatever, if your intentions are good, then good. The more power to you. If they're not, then... So yeah, here we go. Here are just one little picture. You can see that the house has been burned. So, alright. So, called the Black Annie Walk. That is odd. I've never ever come across... Why does my hair look better that way than it does that way? I don't know. Sorry, guys. Alright, so... That's seriously amazing. Alright, cries come from a gravestone in Mount Zion Cemetery. That looks really familiar. It's a really familiar looking cemetery. Alright, so according to legend, Mount Zion Cemetery in Van Buren Township, Indiana, is haunted by a murder victim. So the story claims a man named Dan Guthrie was murdered in Henryville, and his body was dumped in a shallow grave at the corners of Cemetery Hill and Pixley Knob Road in order to cover up the crime. Once his grave was discovered, he was reburied in nearby Mount Zion Cemetery, so this hasn't kept him from haunting his original gravesite, or from crying out late at night from his new cemetery plot. Ghost hunters once placed a tape recorder on his headstone and captured a man's voice repeating, "Help me. God, help me, please help me," over and over again. That's sad. That's actually sad. So this is all by Ranker.com. What is this? This looks like my house. Oh no, the Hannah house. The house that smells like death. So we've already went over that one. Are there more? Oh, there are no more. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, the Hannah house. Okay, the Bigfoot one. Diana of the Dunes wanders the beach. We've done that one. A green-clawed beast swims in the Ohio River. Okay, we've done that one. A witch still lives in Devil's Hollow. Well, where are you? This is in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and that's Devil's Hollow right there, and that's her house. She still lives there. I think me and her could have a very good relationship. Alright, Devil's Hollow, located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, is allegedly home to a witch's house that you'll want to avoid. I don't. I want to go there and I want to become friends with her and develop this loving relationship that we were bound to have, set by the rules that I have set in my own mind. Alright, why do we want to avoid this? The remains of a house with a long chimney is located. Oh, okay. On a deep hill in the woods on Cedar Canyon Road. According to local lore, a reclusive old woman once called the house home. Teenagers began gathering near the house due to its secluded location to have parties and hook up free of parental supervision. The old woman began spreading rumors that she was a witch in hopes of scaring off the troublesome teens, but the plan backfired. Okay, I think I know who this is. Sound familiar? Any of this sound familiar? Alright. The old woman began spreading rumors that she was a witch in hopes of scaring them off. Okay, but it backfired. So a Fort Wayne resident burnt her house to the ground out of fear of the occult and witchcraft, killing her. No one was ever caught or charged with the crime, and her spirit supposedly still haunts the grounds. Like any urban legend, there are some variations. In some versions, the woman actually was a witch and cursed a group of teens, who slowly died via various means. Eventually, the teens decided to burn the witch alive. However, her body was never recovered, and some say the witch is actually immortal and still roams the grounds. It's really interesting. Makes me think of like what's going to happen to some of us when we go. What kind of legends and rumors are they gonna? I mean, I can only imagine what they'll say about me. All right, now keep your eyes peeled for the ghost when crossing Dogface Bridge. There's Dogface Bridge. So, an old bridge in San Pierre, Indiana, is allegedly a hotbed of paranormal activity. According to legend, back in the 1950s, a honeymooning couple were crossing this bridge when a dog ran in front of their car. They swerved to avoid it and were killed when their car ran off the bridge. Visitors have reported many apparitions near the bridge, most notably appearance of a female body with a dog's head. You can also sometimes hear the sounds of dogs howling and growling in the area. The coyotes, I mean, I don't know how, I know everybody a lot of you are mixed. It's like city life and then it's country life, city life, country life on here. I love the city. It's just boring out here in the middle of nowhere. So we have the ghost of Bud Burger at the Embassy Theater. Okay, so Fort Wayne's Embassy Theater opened in 1928. That was a good year. That was a very good year. So, wow, 35 minutes went by quick. Alright, so this ghost is allegedly of the much beloved strange manager Bud Burger, who worked in the theater throughout the 30s and 50s and even lived there for a time. His ashes were spread on the roof when he died, which apparently caused his spirit to latch onto the building. And I would say it would be more of a imprint in time. Just like you guys can see right here behind me. See the smoke on the wall? The black, that's from a candle. So that's kind of, in a way, showing you the imprint left behind. Just like altars, the more you pray at an altar, the more you do work, spiritual work, ritual work, magic, anything, divination, the energy builds and builds and builds. Alright. Many stories have circulated over the years. Guests have claimed to see ghostly entities, and there has been other paranormal activity, like lights turning on and off and mysterious phone calls. I want mysterious phone calls. I want it. I want mysterious phone calls. I want lights to turn on and off. Again, that just doesn't happen anymore. I guess they don't like me anymore. The Haunted Barbie Hotel. Ooh. Okay, so back in the 1920s and 30s, the Barbie Hotel was a very popular hotspot for members of the mafia and old Hollywood celebrities. Okay, I'm good with the latter one. Both Al Capone and Rita Hayworth stayed there on occasion, according to local lore. The hotel is haunted by the spirit of its famous and infamous guests. Visitors report seeing orbs and seeing the ghost of Rita Hayworth. Oh my god. My goddess. That's amazing. Many guests also hear the voice of a woman screaming. This is supposedly the sound of a woman who was murdered by her gangster boyfriend in the hotel. That's terrible. Where the battle never stopped. So, the aptly named Battleground, Indiana is home to the Tippecanoe Battlefield Memorial and Museum, on the very spot where the battle once took place. Supposedly, many locations near Battleground are haunted by the spirits of those killed in combat. Gravestones were said to move around in the nearby Harrison Cemetery, and ghosts and flashes of light appear on Hamilton Road. I like that. That's neat. Okay, I think there's more on here. There should be. The most infamous and downright creepy urban legends from every state. Yeah. Ooh. That's not even my state, so I'm not even going to go into it. Dang it. Mexico, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas. Yeah, I think I am. I don't think there's any more on here. Nope. Okay, so we shall return to the other one. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool, and I wanted to share that with you guys because I love this. So, alright. Okay. More urban legends. Okay. Oh. One urban legend, that's it? That's all that we get? This is a Valentine's Day deal. Okay. There, back to the norm. Okay. Ooh. Alabama, you guys have Dead Children's Playground. Ooh, this eerie playground adjacent to Maple Hill, Huntsville Oldest Cemetery. Alaska, the Alaska Triangle. Never heard of that. Arizona Skinwalkers. Never heard of them. Arkansas's the Dog Boy. We have the Dog Man here in Indiana. California, the Many Horrors of Turnbull Canyon. Florida, the Skunk Ape. That figures. Georgia, the Curse of Lake Lanier. Hawaii, the Night Marchers. That'd be neat to go to. Illinois, the Italian Bride. Ooh. That would be interesting. Okay. Indiana, Diana of the Dunes. So that's basically why we have this one, is because it's why is it creepy? Along the shores of Lake Michigan, fishermen, vacationers, and other passerby have reported sightings of Diana. It's supposedly the goddess showing up, literally the goddess Diana. It's not supposed to be a ghost. The first legend I ever heard of was of the goddess. Okay, a ghostly nude female apparition floating along the shoreline and eventually disappearing into the water without a trace. Where did it come from? Fishermen first started reporting the sighting of a woman skinny dipping in the waters off Indiana's Lake Michigan coastline in 1916. 1916. Holy wow. Yeah, that happened that long ago. Alright, so, and that's because Alice Gray, the source of the Diana legend, was still very much alive at that point. The exact circumstances that caused her to live a reclusive life in a lakeside shack aren't entirely clear. But the years that followed saw her marry a man who later became a murder suspect. That sounds like something that should be on Lifetime. It really does. Okay. Where did I go? Oh, but the years that followed, she married, blah blah blah, and then she did die an early death, allegedly from urmeric poisoning. Her ghostly presence has been a subject of local lore ever since. Huh. Ooh, Maryland has the Goat Man. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I really, really want to just fully go in. I mean, I don't want to ghost team, but just people to, like, assist me, pretty much, kinda, in investigations, completely different, and nothing that you will ever see on TV, ever. Nothing you'll see on here. I make all of my everything spiritual. Invite them into a place of, you know, set your ambiance, create the atmosphere, or go into that atmosphere with love. Unless you're scared or pissed off or something like that, but yeah, so I don't know. I would have to wait just to see if my mood was good, bad, I don't know. The app, the ratings are really good. For the Sono X10 Spirit something. Powered by Cocoon. Pro features ads here. Okay, let's have Lily right here. Lily. Here she is. So let's see if we can just get anything about her. Alright, so Lily is sitting right here beside me. Here's the app. Let's see if we can get her to say something. So, Lily, do you have anything that you want to say?
Everything
Lily. Lily.
order.
Lily.
In California.
Lily. That's me.
Big year ago. I just through this quick.
Lily.
Wait. I was doing this, but here. Where is it? In California. What?
Lily.
Here. You're working. Something.
Okay. I don't know how this works. I guess I push, I don't know. Push that button again. Would that be to play it back?
serious. What? No, right?
Smart?
So help. Wait. Might you stick steps for
Did you hear that? He'll think twice. Was that you, Lily?
our door. Things.
And just load again.
I heard we'll go together. Dead body.
Was kind of
Where? Rosemary Ellen. Did you hear that? I heard that. I definitely heard that. Lily, are you going to talk to me? Talk to me through this.
Everything
I think there should
Lily.
No.
I'm not hearing much. I don't know if these work. I honestly don't know. I don't know if Lily is trying to say anything. Try one more time.
You know, did he try? I'm for afterwards. No way, not like to that. Oh, California there. Good. Sure. Image looking to do. What? Go. Open. Director. Family. Where? Joining. Good to. Yep. It's cool. It's been what time? For us. Well, 7 total.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if that works or not. Obviously, I have some messing around to do with that, so no clue. But alright, guys. So happy Sunday with Satan. I hope you all have a good day. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about the ghost box. Which one, I don't know. So, I love you all with all my heart. All the way from Venus, all the way back down. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So, everybody have, yeah, it's nice, it's warm. It's gonna be even better tomorrow, like 50, so. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I love you all very much.